Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to day 3 of our January Yoga Challenge. I'm Heather, I'm the Bent Yogi. I'm really glad you're here with me today. We're going to have a great practice. So what do you say? Let's get started in Child's Pose. A 15-minute practice to hopefully help you get back on your mat and back into your yoga groove. So go ahead, come onto your mat. We'll get started in Child's Pose. And you can take your knees wide here. Let your big toes come to touch behind you. They don't have to touch, they can come closer together. Let your arms extend forward. Feel your hands on your mat. Feel your hands on the ground. And notice if you can feel the space between your fingers. Start to tune into your breath. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. A big inhale, fill up. And a big exhale, empty out. Right? Noticing the space between your fingers. Noticing the space between your breaths. So maybe a little pause at the top of your inhale. And again, a little pause at the bottom of your exhale. Whenever I say little pause, I think of our little dog. So distraction. Distraction is part of life. It's part of the practice. How can you work with your breath, work with the practice so that you are less distracted and more focused? And that's just what we're doing right here. We're working with all of this, taking it one breath at a time. Let's take another big breath in. And a long breath out. And from here, come on up to your tabletop, your hands and knees. Set your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Again, spread your fingers wide. Check out the space between your fingers. Can you feel that? If it works better for your wrists, you can make fists. And you can pad your knees, put an extra layer under your knees if you like. Strong core, belly draws in and up. And set your gaze. That'll help with focus. Here, extend your right arm lifted forward and your left leg lifted back behind you. As you connect down to your left hand, lift out of your left shoulder, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, elbow and knee touch on you, squeeze in. Inhale, extend out, lengthen, little lift. Exhale, squeeze in, really lift out of that left shoulder. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, squeeze in. Here, as you inhale, extend and lengthen, a little pause again. And then come back to your tabletop, hands and knees on your mat. Check in with your breath. Reset your gaze if needed. Extend your left arm lifted forward and your right leg lifted back behind you. Set your gaze, but also check back in with your breath. Choose your focus here. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, elbow and knee touch on you, squeeze in. Inhale, extend out, lengthen, a little lift. Exhale, squeeze in, belly draws in and up, and lift out of your right shoulder. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, squeeze in. Here, this last time. Extend out, lengthen, reach, lift. Come back to your tabletop and make your way into your downward facing dog. Walk your hands a little more forward. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips. If you want to come back down to Child's Pose, absolutely, you can add that in here or at any point during this practice. You can set your gaze here to one unmoving point. Maybe you close your eyes. Feel your hands on your mat, the space between your fingers. Let there be some space between your toes. And feel the space that taking a deep breath in and a long breath out can give you. Take one more big inhale here. As you exhale, make your way up to the front edge of your mat. Set your feet, soft knees, rise to stand. Come all the way up. Reach your hands up. From the ground, lift and lengthen a big inhale. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Here you can set your gaze Lower your gaze or close your eyes. And you might set an intention for this practice, for this day. And together, let's take a big breath in. And a long breath out. On your inhale, sweep up, reach up. Fold forward, exhale. Soften your knees as you fold, let your head drop. Here, come on into your halfway lift, your flat back. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Feet are even, they can be together apart. You might work with your hands on your mat, maybe on your shins, your knees, even your thighs. Let your shoulders roll back. So really tapping into the length in your spine, feeling some space between your vertebrae. Take a big breath in, fold forward, exhale. Inhale, rise to stand. Lift and reach, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, flat back, inhale, fold forward, exhale. Once more, inhale, come on up, rise up, reach up, lift up, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, flat back, inhale. Bring your hands to your mat, and here, step back to your high push-up, your high plank. Now you can have your knees lifted, or you can drop them down like in your tabletop. Fingers spread wide, strong through your core, long through your spine. Take a big inhale, move forward halfway down or all the way down for your low push-up. On your inhale, your upward dog, your cobra or your low cobra. And let's take an extra breath or two here. Let your shoulders come away from your ears. Whatever variation you're in, feel that you're leading with your heart. Strength and softness in your heart, in your body. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, make your way back to your downward dog or your child's pose. Here, take a big breath in, and a long breath out. Feel if you can let your head hang down. Maybe a little bit of movement if you want to walk out your dog. Take another deep breath in here, and as you exhale, make your way to the front edge of your mat. Setting your feet together or apart, but setting your feet intentionally. Halfway lift, flat back, inhale, fold forward, exhale. Inhale, all the way up to stand. Rise up from the ground, lift up, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, flat back, inhale. Bring your hands to your mat. Again, stepping back to your high push-up, knees lifted or lowered. So strength and softness. You choose your variation. Take a big breath in, move forward, halfway down or all the way down, low push-up. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. A big inhale and a big exhale. Once more, deep breath in here. And as you exhale, make your way to the front edge of your mat. Set your feet, halfway lift, flat back. Inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, rise to stand. Come all the way up. Lift and reach. Bring your hands to your heart. Set your gaze. Set one foot as your standing foot. And come on into your tree pose, Vrachasana. So set your gaze. Traditional drishti, one unmoving point, helps a lot with physical balance. Set your standing foot. Feel your standing foot on your mat. And then you can find a place for your lifted foot. You can play around with it. Setting your gaze to one point helps a lot with physical balance, but also helps with the balance, balancing out distraction and focusing in on where you are right here, right now. So you can see where you are. And I see that when I painted my basement walls, I missed a spot. You can take your hands up, out to the sides, right? So even when you set your gaze, our thinking minds, right? Our thinking minds are really strong, really powerful, and they want to think and distract. Okay, so we're focusing, we're creating some balance. Okay, instead of getting attached to a particular thought, we're softening that. Take a big breath in, and a long breath out. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. If they're not there, both feet come down to your mat. And set up your tree pose on the other side. Setting your gaze, set your standing foot. And find a place for the lifted foot. It can be really low against your standing ankle. You can catch it and place it higher. Your hips are even. The lifted knee opens out to the side. Shoulders are even. And you don't have to attach to a particular thought. You also don't have to be attached to a particular variation of this pose. And even staying in the pose. So if you're wobbly, if you fall out of the pose, that can be part of the practice as well. How do you come back? How do you fall out? Can you fall out of the pose with some ease? Maybe laugh at yourself, right? Have some fun with it, and then gently, softly come back. Take a deep breath in, and a long breath out. Take one more big inhale. And as you exhale, both feet down to your mat, hands to your heart. Take a big breath in, and a long breath out. Inhale, sweep up, reach up, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, flat back, inhale, hands to your mat, step back to your high push-up, high plank. Knees lifted or lowered, fingers spread wide, take a big inhale. Move forward, halfway down or all the way down, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog, your cobra or your low cobra. And as you exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Come on down to your knees, back to your tabletop. And here, setting up for thread the needle, take your left arm out to the left, and then lift it up towards the sky. You can lift out of your right shoulder, a big breath in. Now your left hand comes over to the right. You can come out to your left shoulder, the left side of your face. You can put a block under your head if that works better. You can keep your right hand where it is. You can extend your right arm forward, or you can wrap your right arm around behind your back. Take a couple of good deep breaths here. Notice where you feel sensation. Notice if and where you feel resistance. Then noticing is how we can begin to create some space. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. We're creating some space for ourselves. You are creating some space for yourself. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And come on back to your tabletop. Just pause for a moment, lengthen through your spine, set your foundation. Now take your right arm out to the right and up towards the sky. And your gaze can follow a big inhale and thread the needle on this side. Right hand over to the left, come on to your right shoulder, the right side of your face. You can set your gaze here, or you can close your eyes. There's a little bit of balance here. There's always balance involved in everything that we do. And your left hand can stay where it is. You can extend it forward, or again, wrap it around behind your back. Just different sensations. Give yourself some space here to play around a little bit. Feel your body and feel your breath. And really feel that you are in this space. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. And there's intention in this space, whether or not you set an intention at the beginning of the practice. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. And come on back to your tabletop, your hands and knees. Just a couple of cat-cows on your inhale. Lift your gaze and your tailbone, your belly drops. And as you exhale, round your spine. A big breath in. And a long breath out. Once more, breathe in. And breathe out. Coming back to a neutral spine and making your way back into your child's pose. Letting your head land. Feel your hands on your mat, the space between your fingers. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. And feel the space that you have just created for yourself. Right? In your day, some time for yourself, but also a space in your body, your heart, your mind. space for you. And together, let's take another big breath in. And a long breath out. And you can stay here as long as you like. So if you want a little more space for yourself, absolutely take a little more time here. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining me for day 3 of our January Yoga Challenge. You are now more than halfway through your first week, and that's awesome. You're doing something for yourself, right? You're taking care of yourself, and I'm glad that I can help you do that. I'm Heather. I'm the Bent Yogi. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you for practice tomorrow.